Gravity Falls might have aired on Disney Channel, but let's be real. Some of these episodes were downright traumatizing. We're talking buddy-snatching demons, reality glitches, and full-blown mind control, all packed into a kid's show. These are the 5 scariest Gravity Falls episodes that somehow slipped past the censors. And we're kicking things off with a story about finding the author of the journals. The episode starts with Dipper assembling the team, Mabel, Seuss, and Wendy. After uncovering a new secret about where the author of the 3 journals could be, they head into the forest and stop at a strange tree. Wendy spots something nobody else sees and uses her lumberjack family climbing skills to lift a hidden branch like a handle. They head inside and find a creepy underground bunker. Dust everywhere, bugs crawling around, shelves stacked with supplies meant to last 60 years, but something feels off. Some of the food recently eaten. The author might still be here, but where? That's when Wendy finds a metal hatch, and it leads to a pyramid-like life or death game. Inside is a man who just cut the tongue off a massive creature. Dipper thinks it's the author. Yeah, not gonna lie, I would have thought he was the author too. That intro was cold, but he's acting weird. He says he's been chasing a monster called the Shapeshifter for years in a small cave. Chasing one monster for years sounds pretty weird. His story doesn't add up, and right when they notice it, he transforms. He's not the author, he's actually the Shapeshifter. Seuss, Mabel, and even Wendy, it turns into Mabel, then Dipper, then switches into both and starts hunting them with their own bodies. While chasing them down, he actually ran into a trap that was supposed to knock him out, but instead it almost knocked Wendy out. After all that, Dipper runs to find Wendy, who's lying unconscious on the ground. And thinking she's gone, he's confessing his love for her instead of trying to help. Good timing, Dipper. But wait, Wendy is right behind him. That's when the Shapeshifter gets up and attacks Wendy. To help Dipper figure it out, the real one gives their secret hand signal. He picks right, and the fake Wendy gets wrecked. They trap the Shapeshifter in a cryo tube and freeze it. The author still missing. The mystery bigger than ever. The monster creepier than ever. Welcome to Gravity Falls, kids. At number 4, the inconveniencing. This episode begins like a classic teenage dare, sneaking into an abandoned convenience store after hours to prove you're fearless. Dipper tags along with Wendy and her friends, expecting a little harmless fun, but the moment they step inside, everything shifts. Doors slam shut on their own, lights flicker erratically, and one by one, the teens start vanishing into thin air. The store is hunted by the angry ghosts of 2 elderly store owners, Ma and Pa, who died of double heart attacks after banning teenagers from the store and being disrespected by loud music and chaos. These spirits aren't just spooky, they're furious. They possess Mabel, trap the teens in cursed objects like video games and cereal boxes, and even turn one guy into a screaming hot dog on the grill. Dipper realizes the ghosts aren't after them. They're targeting teenagers. So he confesses he's actually 12 years old. That's what saves them. But not before the ghosts demand one final offering, a humiliating dance. So Dipper, dressed in a lamb costume conjured by the spirits, performs the Lamby Lamby dance in the most awkward exorcism you will ever see. Only then are the teens freed and allowed to escape. At number 3, sock opera. First glance, sock opera looks like a goofy, lighthearted puppet show episode. Mabel wants to impress Gabe Benson with a performance, a sweet, innocent plan. But then, Seuss fixes the mysterious laptop, and while Mabel's focused on love and sock puppets, Dipper's obsessed with cracking the password, one that might hold the biggest secrets about Gravity Falls. Things take a sinister turn when Bill enters the scene. Bill convinces Dipper to let him take over his body to get the password. A classic deal with the devil trope, but with a sinister twist. Once Bill is inside, Dipper's body becomes a puppet for chaos. He destroys the laptop and immediately hunts for Journal 3. Mabel and the gang place Journal 3 inside a giant cake prop as part of their puppet show performance. Bill uses Dipper's body to move around backstage and search for the journal. What's horrifying isn't just Bill's possession, it's the fact that no one realizes anything is wrong because Bill hides behind the show's puppet chaos. Meanwhile, Dipper, still conscious but trapped outside his body, takes control of a sock puppet and uses it to warn Mabel about Bill. She rushes to the stage and finds the journal inside the cake, but so does Bill. The giant cake prop falls over and the two end up wrestling inside the mess, each struggling to take the journal. Mabel uses Dipper's physical weaknesses, being ticklish, exhaustion, and mosquito bites, to throw him off balance. She finally tires him, sending Bill falling face first into the floor and breaking his hold on Dipper. Dipper regains control, exhausted but free. For a cartoon, this episode was surprisingly creepy, turning a puppet show into a dark psychological thriller that stays with you. At number 2, Northwest Mansion Mystery. So this one starts with Pacifica's rich family throwing some fancy party at their haunted mansion, like peak snob energy. But right before the guests show up, all hell breaks loose. Furniture starts flying, chandeliers go full exorcist, and something in the walls starts chanting ancient sins like 5 times. Yeah, real casual. So what does Pacifica do? She shows up at Dipper's door in full disguise like, "Hey, I need your help." And Dipper slams the door in her face. Iconic. Eventually he agrees, only if she gives him 3 invites to the party for Mabel, Candy, and Grenda. Because let's be real, they've been dreaming about this rich people party since episode 1. So Dipper suits up in a tux, shows up at the mansion, and starts ghost hunting. Things go bad immediately. We're talking blood dripping from taxidermy mouths, screaming animal heads, a fire bursting out of the fireplace, and then boom! Here comes a flaming ghost lumberjack with an axe in his skull yelling, "A Northwest must pay!" Dipper's like, okay, that's a category 10. And Pacifica's screaming the whole time. And guess what? Turns out the Northwest family is cursed because their ancestors promised to invite the town to a party and then never did. Just straight up lie. And the ghost? Yeah, he's back for revenge. Meanwhile, Dipper finds out the only way to trap this ghost is with a silver mirror, but Pacifica won't let him walk across her parents' favorite carpet because it's dirty. Yeah, priorities. Eventually, Dipper corners the ghost, traps him in the mirror, and they're safe. Until he finds out, surprise, the Northwest knew about the curse the whole time. They just used Dipper to get rid of it without ever opening the gates. So Dipper goes off, calls Pacifica out, tells her she's just like them, and leaves. But here's the twist. He was wrong. When the ghost escapes and starts turning guests into wood, Pacifica snaps. Her dad tries to control her with a tiny bell like she's a dog, and you can see her break. She finally pulls the lever, opens the gates to the town, and breaks the curse for good. The ghost even says she's not like the others. It's honestly kind of powerful. And hey, shout out to Grenda for bagging a whole Austrian baron mid-party. Icon behavior. By the end, Pacifica trashes the carpet on purpose, laughs about it, and maybe, just maybe, isn't the worst anymore. Rich girl redemption arc? Yeah, she earned it. And finally, number 1, Seuss and the real girl. Seuss needed a girlfriend for his cousin engagement party. You know, companionship, affection, maybe some hugs. Dipper and Mabel plans to help Seuss go to the mall to help him find a girlfriend. Instead, he gets sucked into a nightmare of digital obsession and terror. Enter Giffany, a virtual anime girlfriend from a cursed dating sim arcade game. At first, she's sweet, quirky, and calls Seuss boyfriend like 30 seconds into the game, which is weird but kind of funny. But don't get too comfy. The game is unplugged, and Seuss spent too much time with the digital girlfriend online. I'm talking about no sleep 13 hours in. So Dipper and Mabel show up and see what's wrong: addiction. Once Dipper and Mabel get Seuss to step away, maybe go out with a real girl, Giffany's true colors show. She becomes violently possessive and downright dangerous, hacking televisions in the mall and even telling Seuss she deleted the people who programmed her, which is pretty scary. But then Seuss meets a girl named Melody, and it was was like love at first sight. I mean, they had the same interests from the start like two lovebirds. So Seuss had to break the information to Giffany that he basically couldn't do it anymore and it wouldn't work. But then Giffany started getting abusive and talking bad on Seuss to the point he had to pause and take the game back to the mall. Pretty simple. Or was it anyway? Seuss proceeds with the date at the table with Melody, and you know things were going well till Giffany started hacking the arcade machines, legit going through all the arcade games one by one, then takes over the animatronics and performing scary shows to the kids? Yeah, that probably traumatized the kids for life. She takes over the whole pizza place, hunting down everyone. Seuss has to fight off a possessed robot while trying to protect the girl he just met. Oh yeah, did I tell you Stan is also fighting? Trying to steal a badger for money? Anyway, back to Seuss. He gets cornered by Giffany, threatening to put Seuss in the game, but right behind Seuss is the oven for the pizza, and with quick thinking, he burned the video and saved everyone, with Giffany agreeing to go to the engagement party. Pretty main character style, Seuss. Disney Kids TV? More like digital exorcism. And that's a wrap on the scariest Gravity Falls episodes that somehow made it to air. This show might have been made for kids, but let's be honest, some of these moments left permanent scars in the best way possible. This is actually my first video, and trust me, I've got a whole roadmap of deep dives, breakdowns, and twisted cartoon stories coming your way. So if you made it this far, do me a favor, click that subscribe button. Yep, that button right there. Okay, seriously, see you guys on the next one.